Coming up next on Newswatch at noon, a large donation is making a new athletic academic facility possible at OU, but not everyone thinks is a good investment for OU.
Rebuilding West Union Street has been going on for more than a year, but what happens when construction ends? We'll tell you what the mayor has planned.
Take Back the Night kicked off last night. We'll tell you about what events are coming up this week. That and more ahead as Newswatch at noon starts now.
The development of a new student-athlete academic center is getting mixed reviews. Good afternoon, I'm David Michael.
And I'm Meg Ryan. In fact, this project has been controversial since the beginning. Thanks to an alumni donation of more than $2 million, Ohio University is laying the groundwork for the new Sook Center, a new academic facility dedicated to student athletes. But not everyone is thrilled on campus. Newswatch at Noon reporter Lily Bradley is live in the newsroom with more on the controversy surrounding the new center. Lily?
OU announced its plans for the Sook Center nearly 2 years ago, and while many on campus are excited about the plans, others feel the creation of a space exclusively for student athletes reinforces the academic separation of those students from their peers. Athletics are a huge part of the college experience, but a new center exclusively for student athletes is making people on campus question if athletes are receiving special treatment.
That it keeps them apart from the general student population, that it removes them from faculty oversight and everything else. And so I think the overall context here is not that we're building a special facility just for athletes. It's that we're creating a special class, social class, on our campuses.
While some faculty members are upset with the university's plans for the new center, Dr. Robert Colvin is optimistic and feels the center may help student athletes meet NCAA regulations.
All of the individuals who are the faculty, the students, the student athletes themselves, and staff members who work with the student athletes, they all have the highest level of integrity, and I have no doubts that there's any problem to have any concern about.
Colvin says OU has a long history of institutional integrity when it comes to athletics.
I don't think anybody here is interested in trying to do anything that's improper. The building of the academic center is not going to change that.
The Sook Center will be located in the north end zone of Peden Stadium. Now, Peden already has a facility for student athletes, but Director of Athletics Jim Schau says the current facility isn't up to date and doesn't meet the necessary requirements to support all of OU's student athletes. Reporting live in the newsroom for Newswatch at noon, I'm Lily Bradley.
Thanks, Lily.
An Ohio University psychology professor faces assault and burglary charges. According to the police report, Keith Markman is accused of breaking into his former girlfriend's home and hitting her yesterday. Lancaster police identified the girlfriend as a student at the university. Markman is an associate professor and director of experimental training at OU. He was arraigned and pleaded not guilty in Fairfield Municipal Court. Another professor in Ohio is getting a second chance. Heidelberg University hired the former Ohio State University marching band director, Jonathan Waters. Waters was fired after an OSU investigation into hazing. Ohio State terminated Waters in 2014 after an internal investigation alleged that he ignored a sexualized culture, including sexual harassment, sexually explicit nicknames, and hazing within the band. Waters had disputed those findings and sued to get his job back. Waters will start as the band director and a music education professor at the private university on July 1st. And combating sexual assault and harassment is the focus on Take Back the Night activities in Athens this week. Tonight is the name-burning ceremony from 6 to 8 at Emeriti Park. This week is filled with events to support survivors of rape, sexual assault, power-based personal violence, abuse, and stalking. Also tonight is self-empowerment and defense information in the Student Senate office from 8 to 9:30. Tomorrow, there will be a campus activism workshop with keynote speaker Dr. Stephanie Gilmore at 4 and Baker 403. The Take Back the Night March is scheduled for Thursday evening.
The man arrested last week for drug trafficking in Athens County is being held on a $2 million bond. Eric Miller appeared in court yesterday for an initial appearance, and Athens County prosecutor Kelly Blackburn said this bond was the highest since drug ringleader was set at $12 million. Miller was arrested last week after months-long investigation. Miller is back in court on Thursday. Drug sentencing may be changing in Ohio. An Ohio Senate panel is considering a bill that gives Ohio judges an option to suspend a driver's license for someone who is convicted of a drug charge, instead of the license suspension being mandatory. The legislation affects only drug convictions that don't involve driving and would allow a judge to end previously imposed license suspensions for drug charges not involving a vehicle.
In Athens, another debate is occurring outside the courthouse. The Athens Messenger reports an Athens man is seeking dismissal of a trespassing charge. Elliot Kallman was charged in October after he entered a chained-off area while protesting a directory that is out on an outside wall of the courthouse. A hearing for the motion is set for 2 p.m. Wednesday. The Post reports Athens City Council discussed a bike path that could cost more than $2 million. It will meet on Monday night. The proposed bike path would span from Armitage to Columbus Roads. Councilwoman Michelle Pappy said the majority of the $2.3 million was funded through federal money and a small city grant. Pappy also said the plans for the new path have been in the making for many years, and will most likely be a long-term project.
Construction on West Union has reduced traffic to one lane. This has caused traffic backups and frustration from those traveling through the area. While many are anxious for the completion of the construction, the street may not ever be the same as it was before the fire ripped through the area 2 years ago. Newswatch at Noon reporter Triana Connolly is live on Union. Triana, what is going to happen with this area after construction is completed?
Well, when this fence disappears, the street could go back to 2 lanes. Or, if Athens Mayor Steve Patterson has his way, a creative approach could be taken to use this street in a different way.
Do we need to have 2 lanes of traffic, 2 sides of parking, or can instead we create a plaza that is a meeting space, a gathering space with benches, planters, with trees, maybe the whole surface is done in pavers with brick.
This plaza will create a continuous flow between Union Street and College Green, offering more areas for people to enjoy being outside.
So far, the mayor's plans for this plaza are only dreams, but members of the Athens community are stepping up to make this dream a reality.
The owner of Jack Yo's on West Union Street has reached out to a local architect who has developed this concept of what the plaza might look like. Patterson says that businesses in the area are intrigued about the possibility of a plaza. WIT's employee Gabe Ryerson is curious to see how the plaza would affect businesses on Union.
It would definitely bring a lot more foot traffic up to this end of town, whereas usually a lot of the foot traffic is, a block down and further down, especially during a lot of the event weekends. We don't really see a big crowd down here on this corner. So I think it would give a lot of students and family and people like that another place to sit and eat uptown.
Although businesses seem to be on board with the idea, some residents have different opinions.
Just don't know if that is the best idea for the city of Athens in terms of convenience of traffic.
Just too congested. I prefer it to be completely closed off.
Patterson says the plaza would have a calming effect. He wants the plaza to be a model leading to similar changes on Court Street.
Kind of have these cool park islands on one side and have diagonal parking on the other side of the street.
The mayor plans to discuss this concept with City Council within the next few weeks in hopes of getting funding for the project before the summer. Reporting live from Union Street, I'm Triana Conley for Newswatch at Noon.
Thanks, Triana.
For the second time this year, the Nelsonville York School Board will appoint a new member. The Athens Messenger reports that as of yesterday, 3 applicants have sent letters of interest. Daniel McDonald, Scott McNamis, and James Conkle have all applied. McDonald and McNamis have previously applied to fill the seat. This appointment, unlike previous appointments, will be chosen after all 3 candidates have interviewed with the board. The school board is expected to announce the appointment at its meeting tomorrow evening. And a new app is coming to campus to make it easier for Bobcats to get their news all in one place.
And the Wisconsin primary is bringing all candidates together as they form a united front to take Trump down.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
It might be cold here, but things are getting heated in Wisconsin today as the Republicans and Democrats get ready to choose their presidential nominees. Presidential hopeful Donald Trump happens to be catching heat from all sides. CNN reporter Kim Hutcherson has the story.
Friendly, down-to-earth Wisconsin is the center of the political universe Tuesday as the state holds its presidential primary. But for candidates on both sides of the aisle, it seems there's one main opponent, Donald Trump.
Mr. Trump is unprepared.
People of the country are looking for real positive solutions, not simply someone to yell and scream and curse.
And not let the Donald Trumps of the world divide us up.
When you incite violence, you are acting like a political arsonist.
Wisconsin voters themselves can be skeptical about the GOP frontrunner.
I think he doesn't play real strong with us because we're not as susceptible to his wild man ways.
According to a Marquette Law School poll, Trump is trailing Ted Cruz by about 10 points. Marquette's numbers have had him stuck at around 30% since February. But on the campaign trail, Trump has responded with his usual bravado.
You know, they say that Donald Trump, my base is so, they say Donald Trump can do almost anything.
It remains to be seen whether Wisconsin's Republican voters will help or hamper Trump's quest for the GOP presidential nomination. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Republicans and Democrats alike continue to take their swings at Trump. Wisconsin will determine tonight its presidential nominees. Voting polls in Wisconsin opened this morning and closed tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time.
The Ohio University Student Senate elections last week garnered support from more than just the two main campaigns. According to the Post, write-in votes show support for Bernie Sanders, Max the Dog, and even Kanye West. The most popular write-in, Max the Dog, received 7 votes for president, 5 for senator, and at large, and 4 for treasurer. If you are just hearing about Max the Dog, don't worry, because Student Senate is finding a new way to get news out with just a smartphone. The push is to change the university's Bobcat readership program to print fewer copies of USA Today and instead having a free app called Buzz. Student Senate will discuss the future of this program at their next meeting on April 13th.
The Iceland Prime Minister is facing protesters that could put him on ice. Mass protests are asking the Prime Minister to step down because of the massive leak of secret dealings of politicians and public figures. Iceland's Prime Minister reacted to the large crowds of protesters.
They started talking about tax havens and such. Then they made the impression that I had been involved in that. It is very important to remember that my wife's company has never been in a tax haven. And it isn't really an offshore company since it has always been taxed in Iceland.
One former prime minister says the current one needs to resign immediately. And April usually brings warm weather and rain, but Mother Nature seems to be giving us the cold shoulder. Matt Cuddy is here with us with this week's forecast.
And the Athens High School baseball team faced a tough loss last night to Megs. We have the recap of the game coming up. Stay with us.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him.
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
April showers are supposed to bring May flowers, but in this case, snow showers instead of rain are hitting parts of Rhode Island. In 1 hour, police responded to 17 crashes because of the slippery roads. Residents were not expecting snowy conditions and having to move snow off their cars after last week's 60-degree temperatures. Some residents agreed that this snowstorm and cold temperatures could have been a typical January day, but not in April. Yeah, those snowy temperatures are not really coming to Athens, I hope.
I'd be surprised. So we talk about those extreme temperatures in other places all the time, and we really hope they're not hitting. But I think Matt Cuddy will tell us that they are going to come this Friday.
You're right, David. Yeah, you know, it's not going to be as bad as they're getting over there, but yeah, we're going to get some cold weather, some snow. It might be coming down the week, but for right now, pretty clear. We're at 37 degrees right now, so still pretty cold. Winds at about 3 miles per hour. It's not too bad. Dew point, humidity, all the rest of it, good stuff. We're going to go on to the next one. Here we're going to look at the regional map. Right now, we got Athens sitting at 37, Ripley down here 40, Ironton 41. You go up north, we got Newark at 36. Cambridge at 36, so all sitting around that high 30s, low 40s kind of area. So it's still very cold, you know, after we had, you know, a nice warm streak the past couple weeks before this. So yeah, we're going down a little cold snap right now. You know, we're going to look now at the almanac. Today, we got a high of 49, a low of 30. That's definitely lower than normal. Usually, you know, we're sitting around 62, low of 39, so lower than normal. We look at the records here, 85. That would be pretty sweet, but no, we're not getting close to that today. But we're not getting down to 21. We're getting pretty close, but we're not that cold. So we're sitting right around the middle. And so yeah, we're gonna look now here at the afternoon highs. Again, in the region, Athens 49. We're getting up there close to 50. Newark up there 45. Go down south, Ironton 53. So again, sitting around that mid-40s, low 50s kind of area. So, you know, it's going to warm up a little bit, but we're still not going to get close to those 60s, 70s that we were seeing a couple weeks ago. And now we're going to look here at the map. You can see some precipitation coming down, a low front making its way down, and you can even see a little blue like we were talking about before, and that's some snowy, some flurries, going to be coming down this way. So, that's going to make its way down here, and it might be hitting us in the next couple days. Right now, pretty clear, but it's making its way. And now we're going to look here at the overnight lows. It's going to drop down. Athens 31, up north Newark, Columbus 32, 31, down south in Ironton again 33. So he's sitting around that 30 mark. It's not going to drop too much, but still getting right around that freezing point. And then here, hour by hour in Athens, we got it. It's going to be clear skies. Not going to be too no rain, no precipitation or anything like that. But we're going to be sitting 40, 32, 30. So yeah, going to be pretty cold, but don't have to worry about precipitation just yet. And then tonight, we got a clear night, no chance of rain, but again, it's going to be about 31 degrees, so pretty cold. So make sure you bundle up a little bit and prepare for that. And here we're going to look at the 7-day forecast. You can see here that 65 degrees tomorrow, but we're going to have that rain. Also, looking past down the week, we got 51, 47, so it's going to keep dropping the temperatures. It's going to get a little cold. And then you see there on Saturday, the chance of snow showers. Yes, in April, there's a chance right now. And, it's not going to be too warm either, so even if we don't get those snow showers, it's still going to be about in the 30s, high 20s. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cold.
Yeah, those snowy temperatures hopefully won't affect many Athens residents for this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, I know one thing that people can do indoors is that Ohio University students have a chance to sharpen their resume and cover letter knowledge by participating in an interactive workshop.
And find out where tonight's Take Back the Night events will be held in today's community calendar.
Well, I'll tell you what, all day today, all I've been hearing about was the end of that March Madness last night.
Yeah, that game was crazy. Rachel Walbrant, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Well, in typical March Madness fashion, the game came down to the final seconds. Last night, Villanova forward Chris Jenkins shot the Wildcats into the history books, capping off the 2016 men's college basketball season. After a Tar Heel double-clutch three-pointer to tie the game at 74 with less than 5 seconds remaining, Ryan Arcidiacono charged through the Carolinas' pressure and dropped it off to Jenkins. Jenkins pulled up and knocked it down at the buzzer, but he credited a strong team effort.
Well, we did it as a team. We fought the whole game. We've gotten better all year, and the first half we didn't play Villanova basketball, but for us to make the adjustments that Coach told us to make, and for us to just go out there and compete, man, we played hard. This team we gave it all we had, and today we were just lucky to hit the shot at the end.
This luck gave Villanova its first championship in 31 years, the second longest time between titles in NCAA history. Power pitching brought it home for Meg's Marauders in a matchup with the Athens Bulldog last night. As Newswatch at Noon reporter Zane Parsons tells us, Athens had plenty of chances but couldn't make it happen.
After a quiet first inning, Marauders first baseman Alec Bissell stepped up in a big way. During the second inning, Bissell nailed a 2 RBI double that rolled all the way to the center field wall to put the Marauders up 2-0. From there, Megs never looked back, ending the ballgame with a 6-0 lead. But it was not just the offense working for the Marauders.
Although Athens had multiple chances to score, they were unable to build momentum as Megs junior pitcher Chase Whitlatch dominated the game by recording 10 strikeouts on the night.
Athens coach Chris Stewart knew that Whitlatch would be a tough competitor.
He's the Southeast District Player of the Year last year. Well deserved. I know Chase well. We knew what we were going to get when we got here. He throws the ball well, and he does not get cute. He just says, "You can beat me, you can beat me." And today he beat us.
Although the Bulldogs only had 4 hits on the night, this has not been a big problem for much of the year. In their previous 3 games, they were able to rack up 37 hits, something they would like to continue as the season progresses.
We don't have time to sulk about a loss because we have 2 more league games this week. So we don't have time to sit and feel sorry for ourselves. We got to get ourselves ready to go.
With only a few games completed so far, there are still plenty of opportunities for the Bulldogs to make an impact this season. For Newswatch at noon, I'm Zane Parsons.
The Bulldogs will go on to play Wellston and Alexander later this week. The Bulldogs will have to wait a couple days for their next game, but Ohio softball will take on Kent State this afternoon in a doubleheader. The Bobcats are sitting on a 20-13 record and the Golden Flashes at 22-10. Kent will need to be smart at the plate because Savannah Jo Dorsey will be taking the mound. She leads the MAC in strikeouts with 200 under her belt this season. That strong pitching has kept opponents to a 190 average. And Bobcat baseball will also take the field today in an away matchup with Eastern Kentucky. Now Ohio is coming off a few losses against Ball State from last weekend, but 3 Bobcats have earned Pitcher of the Week titles since the beginning of the season, so the Colonels might have an uphill offensive battle. But Ohio has senior John Adrian's .629 average and 12 multi-hit games to lead the Bobcats. First pitch is set for 6 tonight. And what's a Cleveland sporting event without a little fuss? The Indians' home opener was postponed yesterday due to below freezing temps and heavy precipitation en route. This is the first time in 9 years that the Indians have had to postpone their home opener. Corey Kluber will take the mound at 1:10 for first pitch, and league frontrunner and Red Sox debutee David Price will start for Boston. Mother Nature kept the Indians bench, but Cincinnati took the field against Philadelphia and rallied for the win. The Reds' Joey Votto struck out 3 times early on, but it's only the final moments fans remember. So Votto stepped up to the plate in the bottom of the 8th with bases loaded and a tie game. His 2-run single put Cincinnati ahead. After 5 runs scored, the Phillies could not match the momentum and lost 6-2. Baseball season is officially in full swing, but the Cavaliers are gearing up for their postseason. They're on the road tonight against Milwaukee, and Cavalier star Kyrie Irving and LeBron James are confident they're ready to clinch the Eastern top seed. The Cavs lead the East 3.5 games ahead of Toronto. Overall, Cleveland is 55-22 with a 23-15 record on the road. They have won 4 of their last 5 games and plan to make that away record 27-15 after their series with the Bucks. 3-pointers and home runs might be the talk of the sports world right now, but the first snap of the football will be here before you know it. So make sure you don't miss any game day action. Twitter will now be streaming all Thursday night football games. The deal with the NFL comes after a long battle with other social media sites such as Facebook. This isn't the first time tweeters will be seeing football on their timelines, however. The NFL has been dabbling with promotional tweets, such as in-game highlights.
Absolutely. I mean, already on Twitter, I definitely was getting a play-by-play just from the people I follow for most tweeting events, but it'll be interesting to see some live streaming.
Yeah, especially from yesterday with opening game. That Twitter was full of baseball tweets from all around the nation. It was really interesting to watch and see.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to putting more games other than Thursday night on there as well.
Absolutely. Now, with the end of March Madness, it is April, which means tax season. The idea of paying taxes might get old, but you're never too old to do them. Take it from a 91-year-old who has been volunteering as an AARP tax aide for years. But now, Harvey Lean is thinking this will be his last tax season. He retired 32 years ago, but continued to help people with their taxes in the spring for the last 30 years. He's experienced a lot of Medicare details and tax changes. But through it all, he has enjoyed his time. Tax day falls on Monday, April 18th this year. Maybe you too can find someone as nice as Harvey to help you meet the filing deadline. A Vinton High School student trip to Europe is being reconsidered in light of the recent terrorist attacks. Tune in to Newswatch tonight for more on the Board of Education's concerns.
And be sure to join us for Newswatch at noon tomorrow when we'll look at the security preps for Governor Kasich's State of the State address in Marietta tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your day.